Silverstone in England as we start getting to the business end of the 2021 season. A classic old school circuit. Who wins the Battle of Britain today? This is the Monster Energy British Grand Prix. Classic circuit, steeped in motorsport history. Silverstone, 5.9 kilometres in length. That makes it our longest circuit on the current calendar, with 18 corners, 10 of them right, 8 of them left. Plenty of overtaking opportunities here at Silverstone, of course, including the last corner, as we witnessed last time out in 2019 when we were here. That brilliant moment between Marc Marquez and Alex Rins. Here it is. Feast your eyes on this. Will we have more jaw-dropping action coming up in the next hour? Coming up next in MotoGP, Repsol Honda have a man on pole, and it's Pol Espargaro hunting for glory with his new team. Ducati's Pecco Bagnaia starts from second today and is on the lookout for his first ever MotoGP win. Fabio Quartararo defends his 47-point lead from third and starts today as the bookies' favourite. And leading the rest of the field is the rookie, Jorge Martin. Can he claim his third consecutive podium? We're back in Britain. Welcome to Silverstone for the 12th round of the MotoGP World Championship. It's fantastic to see fans back here at Silverstone. Not all of the grandstands are full, not all of the grandstands are open, but we're expecting around about 50,000-60,000 fans in here today. And luckily it's stayed dry, although it's fair to say the weather forecast for today hasn't gone quite to plan. It was supposed to be a lot warmer and hotter today, blue skies and sunshine as well. It hasn't really turned out that way. Still quite overcast, a few grey clouds dotted around. You never know, we might get a spot or two of rain. That is not beyond the realms of possibility here in England, but it's overcast and it's quite cool and fresh ahead of MotoGP. Will that play a big part in deciding what tyres to go for ahead of the British Grand Prix? Pol Espargaro on pole position, but so many riders in contention for a podium. I can't wait for this one, Matt. On a Saturday evening, myself, you, Matt, Simon Crayford are all asked for our predictions in a meeting that we do, and I think we're all a bit flummoxed as to what to expect today. Clearly Fabio Quartararo just has the nudge in terms of pace, but it's a lottery.
Yeah, very tough one to call this, Steve. Very unpredictable. Fabio Quartararo, certainly when you look at the evidence of FP4, he was very strong again, as he so often is in full race trim. Looked like he got excellent race pace. Not too far behind him though was Aprilia's Aleix Espargaro. What can he do from 6th place on the grid? And as Steve mentioned, you can make a strong case, a whole bunch of riders who can be fighting certainly for the podium. Here he is then, Fabio Quartararo, the World Championship leader, hobbling towards his factory Yamaha YZR M1 for the 20-lap British Grand Prix. If you're joining us for the first time this weekend and wondering why he has got a little bit of a limp, well, unfortunately, on that Friday afternoon, FP2, when Fabio Quartararo did run what he knew was going to be a risky hard rear tyre experiment, he was caught cold by a cold left-hand side of that rear tyre at turn 8. Fortunately, it wasn't a vicious high side, which it could well have been. It was still a nasty crash, a heavy impact, a sprained left ankle, but a bit of good old-fashioned tape and ice, and Fabio's raring to go to try and win the British Grand Prix.
47 points he has in his back pocket over the rest of the field, but there's a few other riders in contention, including this man, Jorge Martin, in brilliant form. Back-to-back poles in Austria, his first ever MotoGP win, backed up by another podium. He's 4th on the grid. He's got nothing to lose as a rookie, Matt, and he just looks so cool, calm. He's never been here before, and he was rapid yesterday.
Yeah, he really was so rapid. We thought he'd taken pole position by nearly a second, having cut the corner at turn number 8. He knew it, his team knew it, most of us knew it, but there were some who dared to think, this guy is so good, maybe he did even fire in at that 158. It wasn't to be. Pol Espargaro will start from pole position, but as Steve says, keep a very close eye on Jorge Martin going from 4th place. He's going to be in the mix for the podium, no question.
Never been here before on a MotoGP bike. Should just add that one in. Here is Pol Espargaro. It was brilliant to see the celebrations for this guy yesterday. He's had it tough so far in 2021 since moving to the glorious red and orange colours of Repsol Honda. But something to celebrate yesterday. He's not got ridiculously high expectations ahead of today. He said it's a learning exercise. He just wants to try and enjoy the day, but it's Pol Espargaro, Matt. You know what you're going to get from him this afternoon.
Yeah, it tends to be all or nothing, doesn't it, from the 30-year-old. Great to see that famous Pol Espargaro smile back, though, yesterday. His first front row since the opening Valencia doubleheader last year. First time he's had a pole position on the Repsol Honda as well. What about this man, Jack Miller? Well, yesterday morning in FP3, he looked brilliant, fastest in that 3rd practice session. Not bad as well in FP4, but just could not get anything going on both sets of new rear tyres, trying to get himself psyched up, isn't he? Get himself pumped up for the British Grand Prix. Jack Miller, a bit of work to do, though. It's going to be all about a good start for Jack Miller, and then an aggressive first couple of laps. 7th place on the grid, heads to the 3rd row with Rossi and Zarco.
I just think Jack might fancy this, you know, today. He thinks he might have a good shout. Now, this man certainly ordinarily would do. Marc Marquez was rapid Friday morning, FP1, fastest, until he got around to Maggots. One of the fastest crashes you'll see in MotoGP. 5th gear, 274 kilometers an hour, that's 170 miles per hour. He crashed, bit of dirt in the eye as well, and not aided by another fall this morning, Matt, in warm-up as well, where he immediately went to sort of work out whether or not his shoulder was okay.
It'll be a long race for Marc Marquez, but you know he will be there. This man, supremely confident that he will certainly be there come the final reckoning in this 20-lap race. Aprilia's Aleix Espargaro, fast in this morning's warm-up session, looking really, really strong. He's been inside the top 2 in a couple of sessions as well so far this weekend, and he thinks that he's definitely got the pace to end Aprilia's long, barren run without a podium. Well, of course, in the modern MotoGP 4-stroke era, they've never had a top 3 finish. Aprilia. Is today the day?
Is today the day that this young man, Pecco Bagnaia, picks up his first ever victory. He was on the podium last time out in Austria. He's been getting stronger and stronger with each session. Definitely got a shout of a victory today here at Silverstone, and it's great to see this guy back to say a fond farewell to the crowd here in Britain. Cal Crutchlow riding for Monster Energy Yamaha.
Yeah, unexpected but welcome return to the fold in front of his home crowd for Cal Crutchlow. Seen the 35 t-shirts out in force throughout this weekend as they get finally to say a fond farewell to Cal Crutchlow. Of course, the British Grand Prix cancelled last year because of the ongoing global pandemic, but the fans getting to see Cal's final British Grand Prix appearance. Likewise, of course, Valentino Rossi. Now, you can never really discount Joan Mir when he's starting from the 4th row of the grid, but you feel like today it's going to be a tough proposition for even Joan Mir to come through from 11th place and to figure strongly in the podium. But you do know he's an aggressive, hard-charging warrior, isn't he, the 23-year-old Spaniard? He thinks that he's got a chance of the top 5. Will the podium be there for the taking?
Miguel Oliveira has not had it all his own way ever since that crash over in Austria, and you can see he's still got that wrist heavily strapped. It's been a really poor weekend for Miguel Oliveira. Doesn't look like he's got much strength. He's not got much speed either. Don't expect anything magic, unfortunately, from the Portuguese rider here today.
Hasn't been higher than 14th in any session so far this weekend, Steve. Miguel Oliveira, poor form by his normally exceptionally high standards. And can you believe it? After 26 years of racing at the top level, 26 glorious years as well, racing in front of the British crowd. And it's a farewell for Valentino Rossi from his beloved Yellow Army. The Valentino Rossi VR46 merchandise stores have been doing a roaring trade here this weekend. When we came to our commentary box on the outside of Woodcote at about 8:30 this morning, there was a queue 50 deep, I think, for one of the Rossi stalls. He's certainly doing a brisk trade. Will he have a brisk pace to try and build on a really strong qualifying? 8th on the grid for Valentino Rossi, although, Steve, he has suffered from very poor starts recently, so let's hope he doesn't lose too much ground and all the hard work from yesterday goes to waste.
What's in store for this guy today, Johann Zarco? It's not been his strongest weekend by any stretch. 9th on the grid is his worst qualifying of 2021. So often he's managed to dig deep and pull out a result, but all weekend, Matt, he's been searching for a feeling, and it doesn't look like he's found it yet.
No, we haven't said this very often at all in 2021, have we? Johann Zarco just not really at the races at any stage during the course of this weekend. It's been a lack of rear grip, a lack of feeling from that rear tyre, just missing stability on corner exit, and that's costing his corner speed as well, which is an area where Johann Zarco's really been strong on the Ducati GP21 this year. So yeah, it might be a tough 40 minutes, 20 lap race coming up for the Frenchman.
Now this weather might have thrown a bit of a curveball into proceedings, Matt, because I think that based on yesterday afternoon's heat with the sun out, a few people went out there looking at the hard rear tyre. It was looking like a possibility, especially with predicted warmer temperatures this afternoon, which hasn't panned out. You've got to believe that the majority of the field here are now going to have to go for that medium.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool now. I can't believe anybody would run that hard rear tyre. If they did, it would be a huge gamble, a big risk. I would imagine that probably there's going to be a split between soft and medium fronts. The majority, I would imagine, go with the medium rear. But yeah, it would be quite a shock, actually, given how cool the temperatures now are. Heavy cloud cover over Silverstone, and quite a stiff, biting, chilly breeze as well. I would be surprised if anybody did go for the hard rear.
Cal Crutchlow getting a warm round of applause as he exits pit lane. This is a monster track, a classic old school circuit where the MotoGP bike is really able to stretch its legs. 20 laps of Silverstone, that's a long race for these MotoGP riders.
Cal was kicking himself a little bit yesterday at the end of qualifying because he felt he left a bit of time out there. Too many mistakes on his hot laps, otherwise he'd have been staring a better start position than 19th on the grid. He's just ahead of Miguel Oliveira and Jake Dixon. Of course, what will be going through the mind of Jake Dixon right now as the clock ticks down towards the biggest moment of his life, make no doubt about it. 23 minutes away from his first ever start in MotoGP, and he gets to do it in front of his passionate home crowd here at Silverstone. It's what dreams are made of.
Now, you would be rather foolish to completely rule out Alex Rins. 2 years ago, he was a dark horse, to say the least. No one expected him to even be in a shout with a podium, and from way back he came through to win that famous race and that famous last corner against Marc Marquez. Alex Rins starts from 10th today. It'll be really interesting to see how he gets on. Now, we told you earlier on about the news that Andrea Dovizioso is going to be back in MotoGP and with Yamaha. His manager's down on the grid and Simon's found him. Simone Battistello with you, Simon.
Yes, he is. Simone, thanks for talking to us. Super excited, everyone is, to hear that Andrea Dovizioso is coming back to the paddock. Can you give us a little insight on when you will expect that to be?
Well, we're still working on we need to finalize a few things, so it's not 100% sure how, when, but the plan would be to start as soon as possible, maybe from Misano, and to finish the season, using Morbidelli's bike, and then next year to stay in the same team with a factory bike.
Fantastic news. Thanks, and look forward to see you, hopefully, at Misano.
Thank you. Ciao.
Yeah, good of Simone Battistello to talk to Simon there. Well, you have it from the horse's mouth, really. Not signed yet, but it's almost certainly going to happen. Dovi will be back. Great news for Franco Morbidelli as well, because despite his injury, Matt, I think everybody agrees he thoroughly deserves a crack on a factory machine.
100%. Not going to pick a fight with you on that one, mate. Yeah, totally agree. And a chance for Franco Morbidelli and Yamaha to get a head start, an unexpected head start on 2022. Pol Espargaro then comes to the front row of the grid, pole position for the first time as a Repsol Honda rider. Marc Marquez, what can he do from 5th place? This is a position he's not used to being in, out-qualified by his teammate.
Marc Marquez, the good news is it looks like he's fit to race anyway.
Yeah, there was a bit of a problem with his right eye, wasn't there? I think in that seemingly endless barrel rolling through the grass and tarmac after that horrible crash at Maggots on Friday. There was a little bit of dirt and dust got in his eye, and then I think he touched it with his glove and it scratched. He's had to have it cleaned out. Not been very, very comfortable for the remainder of the weekend.
Pol Espargaro has come to the grid, Matt, with a soft rear tyre, and that really just shows you, doesn't it, how much cooler it is out there.
As we suspected, nobody on the graphic so far then is even having a second thought about the hard rear tyre. It's far too cool. Far too cool. It would be a big risk. Not even Brad Binder, who we know is not shy of taking risks. He's not going for it. Everybody on that graphic then, medium. Enea Bastianini also then on the soft rear tyre. Taka Nakagami's really taking a punt. He's gone soft front, soft rear, nothing to lose from 15th place yet. Nobody on the hard rear tyre, just as we suspected. And it looks like at the moment, Pol Espargaro and Enea Bastianini, the two men on the soft rear. Likewise, Taka Nakagami.
Can the two factory Ducatis force their way onto the podium today with Pecco Bagnaia and Jack Miller? Let's get the thoughts of Paolo Ciabatti. Is on the grid with Simon.
Yes, just before we talk to Paolo, I've got to say, guys, you can feel everyone trying to make decisions. I don't think everything is already decided, you know, tyre choice-wise. But let's talk to Paolo. Paolo, the Ducatis are looking good again. You know, they've been really consistent this year, and I have to say Pecco is looking fantastic. I want your thoughts going into this race.
Oh, yeah, as you said, we're doing good. Actually, we've been doing good almost all season, but now it's the time, obviously, to try to close the gap to Fabio. Not easy, because Fabio has always been fast, and even here, super fast. But I think we have a good chance. I think Pecco, but also Jorge and Jack, they can do good. We'll see what Zarco can do. Obviously, we have 4 riders capable of being in the top position, and as many as we can put in front of Fabio, it will be our target. But also the Hondas here, extremely fast. I'm pretty sure the Suzukis will be there. So it's going to be an interesting race. Weather is maybe a little bit colder than yesterday, windy, so let's see. But it looks it's not going to be raining, which is the most important thing. I think we'd like to see a dry race.
One other thing before I let you go, tyre drop-wise, how much of a concern is that for you today?
Well, it is always, I think riders made already their choice about rear tyre, not sure about the front, we'll see, because as you can see, everybody is a little bit guessing. It's crucial always, and saving the tires for the last part of a race, it's always a key to be able to push for success. So let's see, but I think it's good. Let me say it's good to see so many people on the grandstand, to see all this crowd. Finally, we were missing that, so we hope to give a good show to all the fans here in Silverstone.
Thank you, Paolo.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we hope so too. Thank you very much to Paolo Ciabatti. As we suspected, really, no one really knows what's to come, especially in the last 5-6 laps of this British Grand Prix.
Nice aerial shots of Steve Day's house there.
Yeah, I wish. Goodness me. Hello, Nick.
Just a little bit of news. You might, if you joined us for this morning's 20-minute warm-up session, we saw Taka Nakagami looking in a little bit of discomfort towards the back end of that session. He actually was quite strong. Second, social media, some guys in the media centre reporting that unfortunately Taka's got a bit of a tummy bug. Not really great news. So too many bacon butties in the UK by the sound of it for Taka.
Yeah, well, that's
not good.
That's
though.
not good. No, he was very strong this morning in more on the soft front, soft rear, which is perhaps why he's decided to opt for that. Here's Joan Mir, clever rider Joan Mir, and of late he's shown his class. He's got a lot of work to do here today if he's going to try and somehow cut the deficit in the World Championship to Fabio Quartararo. So often, though, in the past, and certainly last year, Mir has shown that he can be very strong in the closing stages of races. This is the track temperature. It's just way too cool to even be thinking about the hard rear tyre. Piero Taramasso, Matt said earlier on, it needs to be around sort of 32, 33 degree track temperature for that to happen.
Yeah, it's what, 10 to 12 degrees under that benchmark then, so no great surprise. As it stands though, as we mentioned, it is just the poleman Pol Espargaro and Enea Bastianini and Taka Nakagami that have gone for the soft rear tyre.
You never really know what's in store for Alex Rins on a Sunday. He's not being close enough for us to believe that he's got a fight for the podium here today. But then, as we said, he wasn't 2 years ago either. He's due a big result. He could do with one for just a bit of confidence, Matt. Arguably, I think if you were to offer him a top 6 today, he'd take it.
He really would, and it's the result that he badly needs. Alex Rins, when you look at his recent run, just the 1 top 10, his last 8, no top 6 since that 4th place in Doha.
Let's go back down onto the grid now. We all know how quick Jorge Martin is. He's definitely going to be in the run for the podium. But what about Johann Zarco as well? Has he found any answers to some of the issues he had earlier in the weekend? Francesco Guidotti is with Simon.
Yes, he is. Francesco, can you give us a little insight on how your riders are feeling going into this race?
Jorge has a good feeling, has a good pace. No big doubt about the tire choice. And yeah, it will be a long race, tire consumption and a lot of contenders. Will be tough, but I think he has a good chance to do a good race. Enjoy the race at least. Johan, we were more focused on the hard rear, but with this temperature, we come back to the medium rear, and the feeling is still struggling with the rear end in general. So for him, it will be even more tough than usual.
Thank you, Francesco.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much to Francesco Guidotti. There's our fan wall. Looking forward to this race. Clearly, a lot of confusion on the grid as to what to do. Cal Crutchlow there, Matt, going straight to the top at Michelin to find out what everyone's going for.
No point sitting on the grid trying to look around and see what your rivals are running. Just go straight to the boss and find out exactly what everybody's running. Alex Marquez, a couple of really decent rides actually over the Austrian doubleheader 2 and 3 weeks ago, back-to-back 9th places. Good morale boosting top 10s for the 25-year-old Spaniard. Never had 3 top 10s in a row in MotoGP, so a bit of an incentive going into this British Grand Prix for Alex.
Here is Jack Miller. As Matt mentioned yesterday morning, everything was looking pretty good. Now, what's going on here? Danny Aldridge is just coming down. Is he taking a photo of something? Not really sure what's going on here. Don't know if Simon can shed any light on that. It might just be something rather innocuous. Yeah, okay, let's go down to you right now. Alberto Puig is with Simon. Big day for Repsol Honda.
Yes, you're right. Big day for Repsol Honda. Pole position, and we know Pole will throw everything at it. Also, Mark looking so strong all weekend. A few hiccups, but I've put him down for a podium because I think today will be so much about experience, tyre management. What do you feel?
I feel that it's not easy for anyone, for no one. But yeah, today we have a possibility. We are in the first 2 rows, so the guys will try the best for sure. And yeah, but you know very well that there are many guys here that want to be also on the podium. So we will see a tough race, and especially in this track so long, you cannot make mistakes. And they must be really focused during all the race.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Here is Jack Miller then. Not sure what was going on there just a moment ago as Danny Aldridge was taking a peek at something on the front end of Jack Miller's bike. What's he got in his back pocket today, Jack Miller? I don't think his qualifying position really reflects what he might have on offer here today, but we'll see.
You can just see there the man who was just talking a few moments ago to Simon Crafart, Marc Marquez then. Now he's one man that's already decided late on to change. He's just told BT Sport, of course, local broadcasters here in the UK, that this race will be incredibly unpredictable. Well, it's already unpredictable. We're not even started. Marquez came to the grid, seemed like his mind was set. Medium front, medium rear tyre. That has changed. He's now going for the same combination.
Here is Valentino Rossi, his last dance in England. What can he muster up from 8th on the grid? Not been too bad all weekend, actually, for Rossi, but as Matt rightly points out earlier, it's the start that's crucial for the number 46. Simon, any news and updates regarding what we were seeing there from Danny Aldridge on the grid with Jack's bike?
Yes, it was a simple explanation. Apparently the sensor that picks up what tyre choice. And there's a little barcode, and it picks it up as the rider's right out of pit lane. It didn't work for Jack's front tyre, so they were just going down, taking down the barcode and sending the information through. Simple as that.
Okay,
so, but in the meantime, I'm standing next to Piero Taramasso, who has a little sheet in front of him. One of the other journalists is harassing him, but I'm hoping to get a word with him now. Piero, do you have a moment for us? I know you'll have the latest information. Please, can you tell us what's happening tyre-wise?
Yes, there is a few changes on the grid because the cool weather. At the beginning, everybody was set with a medium front and medium rear. So now some riders, they are switching with the soft front. For example, Fabio, for example, Pecco, they change. Right now, just Mir. Also on the rear, we saw Mark. Also, he put the rear soft. So we will have a combination of soft and medium in the front, mainly medium. Rear will be also soft, few soft, a lot of medium. Johan Zarco with the hard rear. So all the three, they will be in the race.
One last question, tyre drop. A lot of riders talking about that today, sort of from 10 laps on. What is your feeling?
Yeah, probably we will see some drop, no dramatic one. We know the soft after 10 laps, he's got drops and then he stays stable until the end. The medium, he will drop after 15, 17 laps, drop and then stable until the end. So then we'll see the strategy who will win.
Thank you, Piero.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Thanks, Piero Taramasso. This is fascinating, really fascinating on the grid, Matt. The soft front for Fabio Quartararo. Now, these tyres have not been raced or tested really that often over the weekend and race distance. There's no knowing what's going to happen. And Johan Zarco, what a risk that is.
That is a punt and a half, isn't it? Fabio Quartararo then there going from the front row in third. Mir in 11th place. Let's quickly pop back down to the grid and find out about all these late tyre dramas for the prospects of Fabio Quartararo increasing his World Championship lead. Simon Crafars with Monster Energy Yamaha team boss Maio Meregali. Simon.
Yes, Maio. Fabio's looked fantastic all weekend, especially race pace wise. It looks on paper that he could pull away even, you know, especially early on. And we've just seen a late tyre change, tyre choice, you know, soft front. Can you give us your thoughts?
Yeah, we did 25 laps with a soft Friday, and the feeling was really good. And the track temp anyway is not that higher compared this morning. The feeling yet this morning was very good, even if we start with used tire. And I think we really prepare the race very well, as we're used to do. But we have a good possibility for sure to do well. I don't think it will be easy to pull away. I expect at least half race probably battling. Then who will be able to manage the rear tire better, I think he will have more chance.
Thank you, Maio.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks to Maio Meregali there then. Interesting stuff, a bit of a chess match going on the grid before we've even gone racing. The fans are ready here at Silverstone and so are we. Here's Luca Marini, an excellent 5th last time out in Austria. Hasn't had a bad weekend actually, considering he's a rookie on a MotoGP bike here at Silverstone. He'll start from 14th on the grid today.
Yeah, interesting what Marini's rear tyre choice will be. In FP4 yesterday on the medium, he really struggled. He said it was like riding on ice. There was no grip at all. But it's a lot cooler than it was yesterday afternoon. Marc Marquez, fully focused, fully ready, fully prepped, motivated, good to go.
What about the Suzuki boys? They're on the 4th row, 10th and 11th for Rins and Mir. Shinichi Sahara is down there with Simon.
Shinichi Sahara-san, please tell us, is there a chance you think of one of the Suzukis getting through to the podium today? Normally I'm confident in them doing that, but really today I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the two of Suzuki, I hope two of Suzuki get the podium today, but it's going to be a tough race also. In this cold condition, the tire choice will be one of the factors. But we have enough data for the race condition, so we'll be fighting.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Simon.
Thank you very much to Shinichi Sahara. We're inching closer here to the British Grand Prix. Here's Taka Nakagami feeling a bit under the weather, tummy upset. but fast this morning in warm-up. He's gone soft front, soft rear ahead of this one.
Definitely worth a punt, isn't it, for Taka Nakagami when you're way down in 15th place, back of that 5th row, next to the 2 Italian rookies, Bastianini and Luca Marini. What a magic feeling it is to see those grandstands packed to the rafters here again at Silverstone. Safety car powers away then from the grid. 5 minutes to the race start of the 2021 British Grand Prix.
Don't forget to keep your eyes on the launch devices as well, because 1 or 2 riders were a bit concerned about that yesterday. Will they disengage? Otherwise we might see a few hogs out there on the opening lap. And what about this man?
Brad Binder, yeah, our most recent race winner on the factory KTM, and he did it in such dramatic fashion. Those last 3 or 4 laps in that Austrian Grand Prix will live long in the memory, certainly for this young man and for those who had the privilege of witnessing it. What a risk he took to stay out on that fully wet circuit on the slick tyres. What can Brad Binder do? It's going to be hard work to repeat his brilliance of Austria. 12th place alongside the 2 factory Suzukis of Alex Rins and Joan Mir. You do know that Rins, Mir and Binder, they're all going to be trying to make early headway to try and hunt down this man, the pole man, Pol Espargaro.
Fabio Quartararo there sharing a joke with his good friend Tom. He's obviously cool and calm, very focused looking. Joan Mir there with his crew chief Frankie Carcetti. There's Ramon Orin, crew chief to Pol Espargaro. A few nerves on the grid, anxious faces ahead of this one. What's in store for the Monster Energy Grand Prix of Great Britain here? It's brilliant to be back at Silverstone, and we cannot wait for the Battle of Britain. On the front that row then, with a soft front medium rear, is Fabio Quartararo defending a 47-point lead. Likewise, Pecco Bagnaia has gone for the same combination, second on the grid, looking for his first MotoGP